The city doesn't sleep. It waits. It waits for the footsteps that once echoed through its streets, the voices that filled its cafes, and the stories that never truly ended. Because just when you think it's over, New York has a way of writing a new chapter. Asterisk, a pair of glittering high heels touches down on the pavement, the sound of a cab horn faint in the distance. The camera never rises above the shoes. Instead, we see shadows stretching across the sidewalk as the city hums with life. Narration begins. They thought their story was done. But life in New York has a way of pulling you back in. A blurred shot of a coffee cup left on a small round table. Steam curls into the air as a subway train rumbles beneath the ground. The sound mixes with laughter, echoing faintly, as though carried from the past. A silver bracelet clinks against glass as someone raises a toast in a dimly lit restaurant. We don't see faces, only hints, hands, objects, silhouettes that remind us of them. The camera cuts to a close-up of a phone on a marble counter. A message lights up the screen. We need to catch up. The vibration of the phone seems louder than it should be, filled with anticipation. The narration continues. Friendship, love, heartbreak, it doesn't disappear. It waits. Until the time is right, a courtroom folder drops onto a desk, papers spilling in a neat but hurried rush. The edges of a red-haired silhouette pass by, unseen in detail but instantly recognizable by posture, by presence. Another scene shows a family photo in a polished silver frame. The hand that adjusts it trembles slightly, steadying itself as if holding on to more than just the frame. A pause, then soft piano notes begin in the background. Carrying both nostalgia and promise, the city itself becomes a character. A slow aerial sweep shows the skyline glowing in the evening haze. Lights flicker on one by one like secrets being whispered. A champagne glass is set down on a bar, half full, the golden bubbles rising in silence. Someone's hand adjusts a diary, flipping through pages filled with scribbles and unfinished thoughts. The narrator whispers, "And just like that?" They return. The rhythm of the script moves carefully, each symbol building anticipation. A window fogged with rain reveals a blurred silhouette behind it. The sound of heels against polished wood floors is sharp and deliberate. A key turns in a lock, the door creaks open, but we never see who steps inside. The mystery deepens. Then comes the subtle connection to the past. We hear Carrie's typewriter, the rhythmic tap echoing faintly. Not a full scene, just the sound, a memory hidden in the background. The narrator pauses. Some voices never fade. They linger. They remind us that every ending was only a pause. As the section nears its close, the montage slows down. A candle flame flickers, almost dying before flaring up stronger. A taxi door slams shut, wheels spinning into the night. A notebook closes with a soft thud. And the narrator leaves us with one final line for this section. They thought they left the city behind. But the truth is, you never really leave New York? Asterisk, the hum of the city grows louder. The skyline no longer feels warm and glowing, it feels sharp, restless, and alive with secrets. A subway door slams shut, its metallic echo cutting through the silence. The sound lingers as the screen flickers with quick, fragmented shots, a text bubble left unanswered, a glass of wine spilling across white silk, a cab splashing rainwater as it speeds through a dark street. The narrator's voice returns, softer but edged with tension. New York has always been unpredictable. But this time, it's not the city that's changed. It's them. The camera pans across a dimly lit bedroom. The sheets are tangled. The bedside clock flashing red digits to 14 a.m. A phone vibrates on the nightstand, ignored. The narration continues. Old loves resurface. New strangers appear. And the choices they once made no longer seem so certain. The screen cuts to a close-up of hands typing a message, then erasing it, then typing again, hesitation written in silence. A courtroom door slams shut. A briefcase falls open, papers scattering across the marble floor. The camera stays on the chaos, legal documents mixed with a lipstick-stained napkin. Narrator whispers, career and passion, love and regret. The balance they once held so tightly is slipping. The scene dissolves into an office window reflecting a storm outside. Lightning flashes. Someone's silhouette leans heavily against the glass, shoulders tense, the pace quickens. We see a dinner table, 3 wine glasses, 1 empty chair. The camera pulls back to reveal no faces, only shadows across the linen. The clink of silverware is drowned out by a sudden voicemail. "We need to talk." "This can't wait." The words echo as the screen fills with fragments of everyday life: subway posters, a theater marquee, a wedding veil caught on the corner of a doorframe. Conflict takes on many forms here, not only external, but internal. The faceless shots show eyes in reflection only, never directly. A woman's hand grips her coffee cup tighter than it should, her knuckles white. A man's hand drops a plane ticket into the trash, then quickly pulls it back out. In the background, the narration sharpens. The city promises love, but it also demands sacrifice. And every choice carries a price. A fleeting image, a hand holding another's in the dark of a taxi, the city lights streaking past outside. Another quick cut, that same hand pulling away moments later, leaving behind silence heavier than words. We hear the faint sound of laughter from a group walking down the street, but the camera stays with a single shadow lingering in the doorway. Left behind, the conflict isn't loud, it's subtle, layered, and constant. A bouquet of flowers left outside a brownstone door, never picked up. A ring box opened, then quickly snapped shut. A diary page torn out and crumpled before it can be finished. These are not explosions of drama, but quiet fractures, small moments that hint at bigger storms. The narrator's tone deepens. The past can be a comfort, but it can also be a chain. And sometimes the people you thought you knew become strangers. The music underneath swells with low strings, a heartbeat rhythm that never resolves. A streetlight flickers, struggling to stay on. A taxi screeches to a halt. A champagne glass tips and falls to the floor, shattering. The sound echoing into black. The final image of this section lingers. A text message bubble typing, then stopping. Typing again, then stopping. Finally, the screen goes dark before the message can be sent. The narrator whispers one last time. The city was supposed to be familiar, but this is not the New York they remember, and not the life they expected. Asterisk, the storm outside has passed, but the silence left behind feels heavier than thunder. The screen opens with raindrops sliding down a window, blurring the city lights into a soft haze of gold and silver. A hand presses against the glass, palm flat, as if trying to touch something beyond reach. The narration begins, quieter now, almost like a confession. They came searching for answers. But the truth is, the answers were always inside them. The frame shifts to a close-up of a half-empty glass of red wine. Someone's fingertips trace the rim slowly, lost in thought. Across the table, an untouched dessert melts, forgotten. The music changes, gentle piano, tender but aching, carrying the weight of memory. We hear faint echoes, laughter that once filled the room, words that once promised forever. The sound fades, leaving only the hum of the city outside. We see faceless fragments of connection, 2 hands brushing against each other as they pass, a hug that lingers too long, a chair pulled out at an empty cafe table. These are not grand gestures, but quiet, intimate moments. The narrator whispers, "Love, in all its forms, has never been simple. It can heal. It can break, but above all, it changes us." A diary page lies open, scribbled with messy handwriting. The camera never shows the words, only the ink smudged by what could be rain. Or tears. A pen rests beside it, waiting for someone brave enough to write the ending. Another shot, a wedding veil dropped on the floor, abandoned as footsteps fade into the distance. Then a passport on a counter, a plane ticket torn neatly in half. Decisions made in silence echo louder than spoken words. The conflict of the past section deepens here into vulnerability. A family portrait sits on a piano, dust gathering along the frame. A hand reaches to wipe it clean, hesitating before pulling away. We see a pair of running shoes at the edge of a bed, never worn. A silk tie loosened on a chair, never picked back up. These objects become metaphors, quiet reminders of choices not yet faced. In one fleeting sequence, we see a kiss, just the outline of 2 silhouettes under a broken streetlight in the rain. The moment is cut short, replaced with the sound of a door closing, leaving only shadows behind. The narrator continues, "To love again is to risk again. To open the heart is to accept the possibility of loss. And yet, to live without it is to never truly live at all." The tone grows more intimate. We see a text bubble on a phone. "I miss you." It hovers unsent, flickering before disappearing. In another shot, an old vinyl record spins on a player, the crackling sound filling the empty room. The camera lingers on the record as the needle slips, skipping over a line, a metaphor for life's missed notes. Then comes a moment of strength. A diary closes with purpose. A door opens to the morning sun. A pair of heels walks away from the shadows, steady and certain. Narration sharpens, every loss carries a lesson, every heartbreak leaves a mark. But every choice brings them closer to who they were meant to be. Montage builds quick, emotional shots, a candle relit after being blown out. A pair of hands letting go, then another pair reaching for something new. A train pulling out of the station, one suitcase left on the platform. A smile reflected in a mirror, even if fleeting. The music swells gently, layering hope beneath sorrow. The voiceover carries the weight of transformation. They've learned that life doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It only offers the chance. To begin again, the final image of this section is still. A typewriter sits in the glow of morning light, a blank page ready. The keys rest, untouched, waiting for the story to be written. The narrator leaves us with a line that lingers: love, loss, self-discovery. In the end, it was never about the city. It was always about them. Asterisk, the screen is black. Silence lingers for a moment too long until the sharp sound of a match being struck slices through. A flame flickers unsteady before filling the dark. The flame reflects in a glass of champagne, trembling as though on the edge of spilling. The narrator's voice returns, this time stronger, urgent. Some stories never fade. They only wait for the right moment. To ignite again, the pace quickens. A flurry of images flashes heels sprinting across Fifth Avenue, a subway train roaring into the station, a hand throwing open a door in the rain. A phone lights up with an incoming call. The screen doesn't show the name, only the word, unknown. The ringing stops suddenly. Leaving only a sharp inhale of breath in the silence, the music begins to build, strings tightening, drums pounding like a heartbeat. A champagne cork explodes, golden bubbles spilling in slow motion. Quick cuts follow, a diary tossed onto a bed, its pages flying open. A pair of hands gripping the edge of a sink. A taxi weaving through traffic at night. Voices overlap faintly in the background. "I can't do this again. It's different this time. Are you sure?" Each line cut short, unfinished, swallowed by the rising music. Conflict collides with intimacy in the imagery. A wedding ring clatters onto a marble counter. A lipstick stain smears across the rim of a glass. A bouquet of roses burns slowly in a metal trash bin, the petals curling into ash. The narrator leans in with intensity. Every choice comes with a cost. Every secret carries a shadow. And every heart is about to be tested. The montage accelerates. A door slams shut. A plane ticket is ripped in half. A champagne bottle smashes against the floor, shards scattering across tile. A streetlight flickers and dies, plunging the frame into darkness before bursting back to life. Through it all, faceless silhouettes move like ghosts, running, turning, hesitating, reaching. Their identities hidden, their emotions revealed only through motion. Then a sudden pause. The chaos stops. We see a single candle burning steadily in a quiet room. The sound of a typewriter clicks faintly, one letter at a time. A line appears on the page, and just like that, the voiceover softens, echoing the words, "Everything changes." The music returns louder now, urgent, cinematic. The montage swells into its final storm, a key twisting in a lock. A cab door slamming shut. A text bubble typing, "We need to talk." A kiss in the rain, blurred in shadow. A champagne tower crashing down in shards and liquid gold. A single scream distant. Muffled by the city's noise, the camera pulls back to the skyline at night, the city alive with millions of windows glowing like stars. The narrator's voice cuts through, steady, clear. Friendship, love, secrets, New York has never been louder. And just like that, they are back, the screen goes dark, silence returns. Then in faint golden letters, the title appears slowly, and just like that season 4, 2026, the music cuts, replaced by one final familiar voice. Carrie's voice, calm, reflective, iconic, and just like that, our story begins again. Fade out,